What's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Mikey Raider. Please forgive me for not wearing any Raider gear today, but I'm still selling jerseys per the last video. So go watch that last video, and I still have those jerseys left if anybody's interested. That being said, please hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. Consider becoming a member of this channel because I'm really hurting for the next couple months, everybody. I don't need to tell you all my troubles, but I got to make some money. I'm struggling. So hopefully I'll be able to put in some work for our Raiders. And I'm going to hopefully go live maybe Saturday. Oh, that's tomorrow. Maybe Saturday. And we're going to talk about more Raider stuff for at least an hour or two. So, yeah, hit the bell for notifications when I go live. Other than that, let's just quickly talk a little quick Raider subject that I wanted to mention is the Raiders need a quarterback. We know that. The Raiders have quarterbacks on the roster. We still got Gardner Minshew, even though he's on injured reserve, possibly. He might not even play this next year. Will he be available? But he is on the roster contractually. He's still getting like 12, 13, 15 million, whatever the price pool is. We got Aiden O'Connell probably on his last year as a draft pick. And we need a quarterback. We need a quarterback. So all offseason, and now they're talking about the Raiders in free agency. What quarterback will we pick up? Who will we draft in the draft if we get a quarterback? So let's just quickly talk about the combines coming up this weekend. So the Raiders are in attendance. They're going to be watching the damn thing like a hawk. They're going to be watching the combine like a hawk, especially the quarterback position, whether it be Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders, Jackson Dart, or any of the others that I just can't think about at this moment. But the Raiders are in the market for a quarterback, and in my opinion, no matter what we do in free agency at the quarterback position, we will draft a quarterback. To have that as a back burner. Who will that be? I do not know. That is based off of the draft and whatever else happens. But all rumblings right now, and I call this like sabotage season, because right around the combine, all the teams and the coaches and the players, the young college players, they're all meeting, and they're all playing tricks with agents and managers, and they're saying, oh, we love this player, we're really going after this player. They're using distraction techniques when they're going after another player, and it's sabotage season. They're all doing it. Okay, a lot of players can raise their draft stock. A lot of players can lose their draft stock during this weekend. So hopefully you guys are able to watch it on NFL Network or whatever, and let me know your favorites from the combine. In most years, I would watch it, but I got to do some other things this weekend. Maybe I'll catch some highlights. But that being said, the rumors right now is there's a lot of information about, first off, Aaron Rodgers not being retained with the Jets. Should he become a Raider, he's out there. Then we got Sam Darnold, who was the favorite to go to the Raiders a month ago. And now the tides have turned in terms of the press. Now all the press and media are reporting that Tom Brady is meeting with Matthew Stafford, and they're trying to put together a play or a ploy to sign him or get him to our team. Whether that's a smoke screen or not, that's for anybody to tell. The Rams have given Matthew Stafford and his agent permission to seek a trade. And out of the free agents, I don't have the official list in front of me, but I'll just speak about it. In terms of Sam Darnold, he's a good player. But he has to have a team. In my opinion, I feel he has to have a team around him to win. And if he's going to covet a 3-year deal of like $35, $40 million a year for 3 years, there's just no guarantee that he is like the best quarterback while we're building a team. He can get the job done. But in terms of Sam Darnold, I know he's better than Gardner Minshew. I know that. But it feels like a Gardner Minshew move to sign somebody like Sam Darnold, in my opinion. That's what it feels like to me. Will he be a good quarterback or a better quarterback than Gardner? No doubt. But is he the long-term dynasty franchise answer in his first year, where he will literally turn this team from a 4-win, 5-win team to a 10-win team in his first year? No. So is that worth $40-something million? I don't know. So Sam Darnold is not my favorite on this list. Now, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. He's not my favorite on the list either. But kind of like Aaron Rodgers. Maybe not completely as a football player, but I like the shit he says in the media, about the conspiracies or the vaccines or whatever the hell is going on. I kind of like some of that stuff because that's what I'm into. I technically probably agree with a lot of what Aaron Rodgers has to say. The way he does it, maybe I don't agree with it, but I'm kind of into that shit, that against the world type of thing. But when it comes to the NFL and the players on the team and other things, he's not really a thankful person. He's not really a humble person. And I believe I have those qualities, regardless of the conspiracy stuff and the vaccines. I think I'm more of a humble person than he is. So I don't think teams and young players can handle his bravado, or they won't understand it. He's like a standoffish person. He's like meeting your favorite actor that's really famous, and you're afraid to talk to them. And, hey, Aaron, can you pass me the ball this week? So they have to do it in the media. So, he's not a good locker room or team player, in my opinion. But can he get the job done? He's like a Sam Darnold in his later age. But he's not a $40 million quarterback. He'll probably, if he played for the Raiders or anybody, he would probably do it for 25 to 30 mil. A couple-year deal with 35 guaranteed or something like that. So it's interesting. If we need a bridge quarterback while we have a younger quarterback that we might draft, it might work, but he wouldn't teach that younger quarterback, and he would just give narcissistic values to that young quarterback. But, in other words, if we got Aaron Rodgers somehow, he would bring back Devontae Adams. So, Aaron Rodgers, stay away. Sam Darnold, no, please, I don't think so. Aaron Rodgers, stay away. But I enjoy some of your rhetoric. Now, let's get to the big fish, Matthew Stafford from the Rams. In free agency, he, in my opinion, is the best quarterback free agent that could come to a team in his first year and excel. But he needs good coaching as well. And he needs a system similar to what he's been thriving in with the Rams. And he has a lot of good players on the Rams, but he made them good players as well. So that's what Matthew Stafford has going for him. So, Matthew Stafford is the best free agent available for the Raiders. For if we draft a quarterback as well, whether it be in the first or the second, to progress the Raiders. But here's the issue with Matthew Stafford. He's still under contract with the Rams, so they're going to want compensation. And then Matthew Stafford has recently said he wants $50 million if he's taken by a team. Again, that's just a negotiating ploy, saying you want 50. He'll probably settle for 45 or 40. But I don't know. He might be honestly saying the truth. Probably for his final 2 or 3 years in the league, he wants at least 50 million guaranteed. And if it is 50 million a season, the Raiders only have 100 million this season. That would take half of our cap. And I don't really see that working. But then we'd also have to give compensation to the Rams. Are they going to want a first rounder from Matthew Stafford? And $50 million a year for Matthew Stafford? That's a heavy fucking price. I don't think that's worth it. They'll probably take a second rounder from Matthew Stafford. They don't want a third, I don't think. They're at least trying to get a second, if not a late first. But still, that's a heavy price. Then on top of that, we got to get another contract for a quarterback between $45 and probably $50 million. I know it can be done, and he will help this team, and he is a leader among men. He will lighten this team up with Pete Carroll and all that other stuff, and it could work in a bridge year to teach a young quarterback that we draft. But again, if we have to give up a second rounder or a first rounder, then we're going to have to draft a quarterback in the third. You see what I'm saying? We have plenty of other needs elsewhere. And then if we need to address them in free agency, if we give him $45 to $50 million of our cap space, and we still got $15 million going to Gardner Minshew mania, that would mean our quarterback position itself is requiring like $65 million when we could have had Russell Wilson for $1 million last year. I know he would have wanted a new contract this year, but we would have had reunited with him with Pete Carroll, and we could probably get him for $20, $25 million. But we would have saved the $15 million from Gardner Minshew if we got Russell Wilson last fucking year. So the Raiders are fucking ridiculous with these money decisions. But Matthew Stafford is the best option. I wouldn't mind if they got Matthew Stafford and draft a quarterback. But here's what's going to happen. If for some reason the price is too much for Matthew Stafford with negotiations or whatever they're talking about, then we need to draft a quarterback in the first. And we all know with Chip Kelly, that'll be a new offense for Matthew Stafford. But Chip Kelly's offense is predicated on the run and the offensive line to help out the quarterback. So that would help Matthew Stafford if he came to this team. More so than any of the other quarterbacks I just mentioned, Sam Darnold or Aaron Rodgers. So there's also rumors that we might draft a running back in the first round. I forgot the guy's name, but the number one running back on the board. Some consider him, one of the top players in the draft. But Matthew Stafford is the big name this weekend. And I don't see it happening. If it did happen, I hope we get him on a better discounted deal somehow. Not by a lot, but maybe $40 million. That's what quarterbacks covet nowadays, especially him being a top 10 quarterback that year in, year out, no matter what team he has around him, Matthew Stafford gets his team pretty much into the playoffs almost every year. And they were a heartbeat away from beating the Eagles, I believe. Was it the Eagles? Yeah, I think it was. But Matthew Stafford is an interesting look, and I would not hate it if he became a Raider, but I would have a few doubts. Let me know your opinion on Matthew Stafford, what quarterback you want. I believe the plan is it would be amazing to get Matthew Stafford, release Gardner Minshew. Maybe we save a couple million there or there. Keep Aiden O'Connell to learn from Matthew Stafford another year. as the backup or third string, but we got to draft a quarterback in the first 3 rounds. And then we have that quarterback to learn, you know. And if we draft a quarterback in the first round, we could technically have that quarterback on our roster for what, 7 years? If we draft a quarterback in the first round, because of, they get a 4-year deal for a certain amount of money. Then you can get their 5th-year option. Then if you wanted to, you could franchise tag them in year 6 and 7 for 2 years in a row. So that's why sometimes it's good to draft a quarterback in the first round. Even though we might get Matthew Stafford on a 3 or 4-year deal, we could have the fail-safe in that first round quarterback for possibly 7 years. So if nothing worked out with Matthew Stafford or whoever we got, we'd have that quarterback to back him up. Then Aiden O'Connell going into his last year, we can probably get him to continue to improve, and he could still be on the roster competing for that backup job. But I think Aiden O'Connell might want to go somewhere maybe next year where he can literally compete for a starting job in the NFL, because we've used him enough, and he does have a lot of good footage, and he is a backup / starter if you need one. So I believe, we have to get the most out of Aiden O'Connell this year, because he'll be a free agent the following year, I believe. But yeah, I like the idea of getting Matthew Stafford. I hope it's for less. I hope it's not for a first-round draft pick. I hope it's not for a second. But it could work. Let me know your thoughts on what quarterback you would pick up and how you would be the general manager of the Raiders. I'm Mikey Raider. I'm going to go eat some potatoes with cheese and bacon. Yeah, it's a really big cheat day for me. So I'm going to be in a coma this weekend for the Academy Awards. No pun intended. But thank you guys for, being a part of this channel, listening to me rant and rave. And if you stayed this long, write Voltron rocks in the chat room, and I know you're an OG. I love you, Raider Nation. Thanks for being with me and riding with me. And y'all a blessing. Y'all a blessing.